Dr. Turtleboy walks the line, truth in his hands. Fingers point at shadows, he's breaking their plans. Corrupt suits in the courthouse playing their game. But the lies they sling won't tarnish his name. They try to bury him, but he won't go down. Fighting for justice in every crooked town. Dr. Turtleboy standing tall in the fight. Truth's his weapon shining through the night. Bogus charges flying, but they can't stick. He's cutting through the darkness, sharp and quick. The gavel pounds, but his voice won't break. No matter how much they take and fake. They try to bury him, but he won't go down. Fighting for justice in every crooked town. Dr. Turtleboy standing tall in the fight. Truth's his weapon shining through the night. His ground in the face of their lies. His courage resounds. For every false word there's a light he ignites. A warrior for truth under courthouse lights. He's been bruised, but he won't lose the war. Kicking down the gates of corruption's door. Dr. Turtleboy still chasing the sun. The fight's far from over, but he's never done.
Yo, folks, it's Monday. Oh, yeah, a full day of work. And now I'm here with you guys with the continuation of why are the House Defendants trying to silence Turtleboy? And today we are going to watch bits of the cross-examination of Brian Higgins. Brian Higgins is, in my personal opinion, based on the evidence presented at trial, in documents, a very, very likely candidate of being the one who may or may not, I have to be vague, sorry, who may or may not have contributed substantially to the demise of John O'Keefe. Why do I say that? Well, motive. Now, motive in criminal trials, murder trials are, I mean, the state doesn't have to prove it, but it helps. What motive did Brian Higgins have? Well, he had a short fling with Karen Reed. And now when I say short, I mean, what was it? One kiss? A few messages? But he's such a doofus. Who's never been approached by a beautiful woman, apparently, because how he acted went, I mean, everything in Canton dries up when Brian Higgins is around. So yeah, motive. Because scorned. John O'Keefe was everything Brian Higgins wanted to be. Secure, successful at his job, and with the woman that Brian Higgins thought he could get it with. Why in the world would the McAlberts be defending him? Well, I said he was a major contributor. Didn't say he was alone in it. And in my opinion, the McAlberts are people who likes to have leverage on people. That is my opinion. So we're going to watch a bit on Brian Higgins today. So you as well learn about what he did and didn't do and how he did it. I mean, all the things. It is insanely stupid. He is still an agent with the ATF, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives. I would assume he's on desk duty because it is embarrassing for the ATF to acknowledge that they have that loser in their ranks. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah, you can have your own. You can't unF a cluster F mug. It's in my merch store. Yay. Now, I forgot to mention this last time. Why am I wearing this when I do the coverage of Canton, the Karen Reed case, and Turtleboy? Well, somebody had fun with placing rubber duckies around where the McAlberts were. They were so offended by this that they asked their good friend Yuri Buchanan to look into it. Yuri Buchanan spent, I believe, 90 overtime hours investigating this. They charged the poor woman for witness intimidation, and the judge who they presented it for laughed them out of court, basically. Dismissed immediately. So, I'm wearing rubber duckies. That's why. All right. Hello. Oh, hello, folks. Hello over at Rumble. Good to have you here. Hello, Berkeley Farm, Stringer Bell, Jan the Couch Fairy, Oikerman, Crowhill, Holly Naomi, GT, Barry Adams, Zimmy, Gwendolyn, Christine, and everybody else. Hello. Remember, folks, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment in the comment section once we are done with today's stream, and yeah, that's about it. That's about it. All right. Are we ready? Here we go. And let me put myself in the corner right here. All right. Brian Higgins, I'm going to play it in 1.25. Cross-examination.
All right, Mr. Jackson, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Who did you come here today with, Mr. Higgins?
Who did I travel to the courthouse with?
Who did you meet here?
An attorney, my attorney.
Is there a reason that you felt compelled to bring an attorney with you for your testimony as a witness in a homicide investigation?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Trial, I should say.
Sustained.
You brought your attorney with you who's sitting right behind you, correct?
That is not my attorney.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were his attorney. My mistake. Where is your attorney?
I don't know. He might be in the courthouse.
Is he in the building?
I don't know where he physically is right now.
Okay. Without telling me anything that you said to your attorney, did you meet with him this morning before your testimony?
Yes.
Did you meet with him during the break? Again, don't tell me what you talked about, but did you meet with him during the break when we took a break a few minutes ago?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Now, there's technically nothing wrong with having an attorney present. Even if you're just a witness. the reason why he says this is because the state tried to make a big number out of Karen Reed after the event, calling a lawyer. That is why they're using this against. Just to show, yeah, Karen's not the only one lawyering up here. But yeah, both Karen Reed and Brian Higgins did the right thing. Because you never know when you go from being a witness to a suspect. Sometimes cops will tell you you're just a witness while you actually are a suspect. So, shut the fuck up and ask for a lawyer. Not legal advice, just life advice.
And obviously the subject matter, again, without telling me any communication, the subject matter was your testimony here today, correct?
No.
How many conversations have you had with Mr. Lally about your testimony or your proposed testimony in anticipation of you testifying today?
1.
When was that?
That was on Monday.
How long was that conversation?
I would say under an hour and a half.
In person or over the phone?
In person.
Where was that conversation?
That was at the DA's office.
Who else was there?
My attorney, victim witness advocate, I believe her name is Kristen Collins, ADA.
Is it Kristen Collins, whose husband has been a real jerk off? I don't remember which if that is the same so-called witness witness advocate. Also friends with the McAlberts. Weird, isn't it? How everybody is just gathering around to protect the McAlberts.
McLaughlin, ADA Lally, and Lieutenant Brian Tully from the Mass State Police.
Anybody taking notes?
I did not. I don't know if anybody was taking notes.
Well, you were sitting there watching Lieutenant Tully. Did he take notes?
Not that I saw, no.
So you had an hour and a half long conversation with the prosecution team and a police officer witness, and you're telling me that you did not see anybody taking a single note down. Is that right?
That's correct. I did hand something to Lieutenant Tully, but he didn't take any notes in reference to what I handed him.
What'd you hand him?
I handed him a piece of mail that I got at my residence.
Anything have to do with this case?
Well, I believe so.
Was that turned over to Mr. Lally?
No, I turned it over to State Police.
You want to maybe repeat for a second?
Yes.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, yeah, I don't actually remember what it was. I'm sure there's information out there somewhere.
Other than that piece of mail that you handed to Lieutenant Tully, was there any other exchange of documents or anything like that? Have you shown anything in anticipation of your testimony?
The only thing I can be recalled showing was a photograph of the exterior of 34 Fairfield Road in Canton.
What about the text messages that you just went over extensively? Were you shown those?
I was shown a pile of papers, and I was advised that those text messages were going to be, they were put into another format, so they were easier to read.
And these are the screenshots that you just described on the exhibit.
Well, as I said, he showed me the stack, said they were the text messages. They were in a different format, but I'm assuming that's what they were.
What was your assignment with the ATF back in 2022?
I was assigned to the Bridgewater Field Office, but I was full-time with the United States Marshal Service doing fugitive apprehension.
And where were you physically officing out of?
Yeah, folks, I'm just going to show you something here. That's Brian Higgins. That is 1 year ago. The guy looking into the camera, that's also Brian Higgins. A year later, he aged a lot in this year. A whole lot. And not in a good way. All right, let's get back to this.
Well, I continue to maintain the office at Canton PD.
Okay, but to be clear, you were a federal officer, not a Canton police officer on some sort of a task force with Canton PD, correct?
No, I was not on a task force with Canton PD.
But you did have an office at Canton PD based on a personal relationship that you had with the chief, correct? He gave you this office as a courtesy. Is that right?
So if I can explain,
Yes or no? Was it provided as a courtesy?
well, working partnership, I would say.
And you've been asked that specific question in a prior hearing, correct?
Yes,
In June of 2023, right?
Yes.
And you explained, look, there was a personal relationship that I had with Chief Berkowitz.
I did.
It was born out of
Tragedy,
a family tragedy that he was aware of.
horrible tragedy, yes.
And based on that personal friendship and that personal relationship, he offered you the convenience of officing out of Canton PD.
I would say that's a good summary.
And in addition to just having an office there, you also had a key card access, correct?
I did to get in and out.
What was the name that you used? You said it was a proxy card?
I think it's called, I think in the IT world, it's probably called a proxy card. That's what I know it to be.
So you had both a physical office and full access to Canton PD, all based on the friendship and relationship and convenience. Friendship and relationship you had with Chief Berkowitz and the convenience that he wanted to give you for having that office there, correct?
No, I wouldn't say full access. I had access to certain areas within the department.
Well, you certainly had access to and from your office.
Yes,
You had ingress and egress to the Canton Police Department.
yes,
You could go in and out of the Sally Port.
I could.
You could go upstairs to Chief Berkowitz's office.
Yes,
You could go downstairs to the dispatch area, which is on the first floor, correct?
yes.
And then you could go out to the Sally Port, into the Sally Port, across that garage, those two bay doors at your leisure.
Well, that would exclude the evidence room, the arms room, and places like that. I didn't have access to those places.
Right? But the places that I just mentioned, you did have access to.
Yes, absolutely.
You'd had that office for what? Back in January 2022, probably had that office for more than 3 years?
I would estimate probably sometime around 2018.
2018. Okay.
Yeah.
Just for context, Chief Berkowitz has, at the time of, I think he passed before the first trial. So why the fuck is Brian Higgins still have an office in Canton PD after all of this? Oh yeah. There were videos of Higgins in the Sally Port that was unknown to the defense by the first trial. After the first trial, they kind of found out that what Higgins said he did was a lie. So, yeah, but I'm sure we will get to that. I'm sure we will get to that. Let's get back to listening.
18 years, 2018.
No, 2018. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My apologies.
Maybe close to 4 years.
Yes.
Okay. I want to turn your attention, Mr. Higgins, to January 28, January 29, 2022. By the way, I should ask another foundational question. Are you currently still at ATF?
Am I employed by ATF?
Correct.
Yes, I am. A special agent. Yes.
What is your current billet or your assignment?
Objection.
Is that something you're free to discuss?
I'm assigned to division operations at this time.
Okay, what does that mean?
That's,
You're taken out of the field?
was I taken out of the field? Yes.
Are you no longer in the field?
Objection, Your Honor. Move to strike.
Sustained. Let's move on. You may be able to come back to this.
Why is this a secret? This is cross-examination. You're impeaching his credibility. Then the fact that they put him off field work is kind of important. But the jury heard it.
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to turn your attention now to January 28, 29 of 2022. You recall those dates?
I do.
You've been living with those dates for the last couple of years.
Like a nightmare.
John O'Keefe's body was found outside your friend Brian Albert's house on the morning of January 29th, 2022, correct?
Yes.
You've previously testified that on January 28th, you had gone to New York for this memorial service, correct?
Funeral service. Yes.
The funeral service, not the memorial. You separate the two.
So, well, the wake would be the night before. Funeral, I call them the services. It wasn't a memorial. Memorial to me would be.
Yeah, him and Mr. Albert traveled to New York to be at the funeral or wake of a fallen fellow officer. Don't know how they knew him. No clue whatsoever. And apparently they decided to drink. And they kept drinking. And then they drove back to Canton, Mass, where they kept drinking. At the time of the demise of John O'Keefe, these two fuckers had been drinking 36 out of the last 48 hours in a snowstorm. Yeah, they drove allegedly pissed drunk in snow or whatever's. And this is an agent for alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives. Any guesses why, after trial 1, they removed him from field work? Any guesses? I have a few.
More of like an annual thing. This was the services.
Understood.
Just want to be clear.
So you went with Brian Albert, Kevin Albert, and Eddie Hernandez. Is that right?
I traveled down there myself, but I met up with them.
To go to the services.
Yes.
Is it fair to say that you and Brian Albert and Kevin Albert sort of run in the same social and professional circles?
I mean, without speaking for anybody else, I think we know a lot of the same people.
Go to some of the same holiday parties, for instance.
Yes.
Go to some of the same events, whether they're law enforcement events or otherwise.
Retirement parties, yes. Things like that.
Might meet up at a bar and have a social drink together.
Yes.
Might share a meal together, correct?
Yes.
And you would agree that you particularly are pretty well connected to the Canton law enforcement community.
Could you qualify that, explain that?
You know quite a few cops, right?
Well, it's a small department, so I do know everybody in the building in some capacity.
Okay, so my question is, you know quite a few cops in Canton.
I do.
You're pretty good friends with, as a matter of fact, maybe best friends with the chief of police, former chief of police, Kenny Berkowitz, correct?
Yes.
You know Brian Albert, he's a Boston police officer.
Yes.
You know his brother and worked with his brother at Canton PD, correct?
Yes.
So it's fair to say, back to my original question, you're relatively well connected in the law enforcement community, the fabric of that community in Canton. Is that right?
Well, I think that comes with working with people, yes.
Is that yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. As a matter of fact, you've even given a personal toast at one of these events, these retirement events, et cetera, correct?
Chief Berkowitz, yes.
And during the course of that toast, you even said, if you want to hide a body, Kenny Berkowitz is your man, correct?
Objection.
Did you
That was a
say
joke.
that? Did you say that?
I don't recall that.
You don't remember telling that joke in front of a room full of folks?
I don't.
If you want to hide a body, Kenny Berkowitz is your man?
I don't.
Liar. Liar, liar, liar. See how easy it is for him to lie on the stand, under oath? Or he was so pissed off drunk that he had a blackout. Maybe that's why he doesn't remember.
You will agree that some of your closest friends are some of the more powerful people in Canton in terms of politics and law enforcement, right?
Objection.
Ask it differently.
At that same retirement dinner, there were members of the DA's office there, correct?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, the DA, Michael Morrissey, was there.
I believe he was at one point.
All right. And that was the same event that you gave either a keynote speech or some sort of a speech for Chief Berkowitz's retirement. Is that right?
Yes.
How long have you known Brian Albert specifically?
I think I had some interaction with him when I was on the Cambridge Fire Department in my capacity in fire investigations. And then I would say pretty much through my entire career at ATF, you know, I came into contact with Brian.
Give me a number of years.
Well, I've been with ATF now for 15 years. I've probably known him at least that whole time.
You'd say that you have both a social and professional working relationship with him?
I would say yes, he's a friend.
Frequently drink together,
We have drank together. I wouldn't say frequently, but yes, we've drank together.
break bread together, have meals together.
Absolutely, had lunch.
As a matter of fact, you were asked at a prior hearing whether or not you could put a number on the number of times that you've had drinks with Brian Albert. You said somewhere around 50 or something like that, or under. Actually, you said under 50.
Under 50, I think I might have said 30.
And that was in 2 years, correct?
Yes.
So not
Just for reference, I've never been drunk with coworkers in the past 20 years. Because it's coworkers. Have I been drunk in front of friends? Yeah. Watch my Slightly Bust stream every Friday, 5 p.m. But in my personal opinion, Of course, you have work friends, but you should have it somewhat separated. Because especially in my line of work, which is I'm a union jurist. I work with labor and employment law. You always have to be prepared in my line of work that somebody fucks up, and you have to take over. You have to tell them, you have to educate them that they fucked up. I would imagine the same should be the same with police officers. If somebody fucks up, you have to be prepared to criticize and maybe even testify if it's really, really bad. But it seems like in Canton, it's all about protecting each other, life for each other.
Under 50 in the entirety of your relationship, a 15-year relationship with Brian Albert, literally in the prior 2 years when you gave your testimony in June of 2023, in those 2 years, you met up with him and had drinks under 50 times.
Was that a question?
Yes.
Well, could you rephrase it?
Sure. Is it true that you testified, answer, quote, I mean, in 2 years, I mean, maybe under 50, end quote. That was your testimony to how often you socialized with Brian Albert, correct?
So we socialized more when I started working with his unit.
Okay. So my question is, well,
I don't know the exact number, but yes, we socialized. Absolutely.
that's all I was getting at.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, there's no secrets here, right? He's my friend.
Mr. Higgins, let me ask the questions. I get it.
That's fine.
I get it. You also know Brian Albert well enough to know what his relationship with, for instance, the other guy that you traveled back from New York with, Eddie Hernandez.
I do know Eddie Hernandez. I actually know Eddie the longest out of everybody.
So you knew Eddie, or Officer Hernandez.
Objection,
before
Your
you
Honor.
Ask the question.
You knew Officer Hernandez before you ever knew Brian Albert.
Yes.
You knew him before you even knew Kevin Albert.
Yes.
And you're aware that there was a physical altercation
Objection,
between
Your Honor.
Brian Albert and Eddie Hernandez that you're aware of, correct?
The objection sustained.
Are you aware that Brian Albert had gotten into a fist fight with Eddie Hernandez?
Objection.
Sustained.
Were you at a Christmas party when that happened?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained as to that form. You can be specific.
Have you ever been at an event with Brian Albert and Eddie Hernandez and seen them fight?
Objection.
And
Christmas 5 years or so before 2022.
okay, the objection sustained.
You do know that Brian Albert has a reputation for being a fighter.
Objection.
Sustained.
At this point in time, it's no longer getting a question through. It is telling the jury through the questions. Because we saw this the entire trial. Judge Bev actively hindering the defense from asking questions that they should be able to ask it.
You were asked in a formal interview. Do you recall? I want to make sure I'm clear about some of your prior statements. You had a formal interview with some folks prior to your testimony at a prior proceeding. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
I'm tracking.
Okay. At the formal interview, which is what I'm going to call that,
Okay.
the formal interview, you were asked about Brian Albert and his reputation, were you not? Yes or no?
Yes.
You indicated in that formal interview that even Chief Berkowitz was
Objection.
quote, a little afraid of Brian Albert.
All right, so that is the objection sustained. That's stricken. I'll see you at sidebar.
May I inquire?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is there a form of hearsay involved? Yeah, but this was asked of him during a prior proceeding, official proceeding. So it's not like it's a secret. And I'm sure they tried everything regarding getting around it with effect on the listener, stuff like that, but didn't go through.
Thank you, Your Honor. You're also relatively close friends. In addition to being close friends with Brian Albert, you're also relatively close friends with his brother, Kevin, correct?
I am.
Kevin Albert is a detective with the Canton Police Department. Is that right?
Yes.
And you've worked in the same physical office with him for a number of years.
Physical building.
Physical building, that's a better way to put it.
It's different.
Is that right?
Yes.
And it's fair to say that you've consulted with Kevin Albert on certain of his cases professionally, is that right?
I've assisted.
And you've also socialized with him, shared drinks with him,
Yes,
gone out
I-
to bars with him, is that right?
Yes, I have.
It's fair to say that you know the Albert family relatively well.
I would say that I know Brian and Kevin the best.
On January 28th, you drove your Jeep Wrangler to the Hillside Bar to meet up with Brian Albert for drinks, correct?
I did.
You said you drank 3 to 4 whiskey sodas at the Hillside, is that right?
It'd be Jameson and ginger, not whiskey soda.
My mistake. Jameson and ginger. Jameson is a Irish whiskey,
It is.
and ginger is ginger ale?
Yes.
Okay.
It's fucking the same thing. Well, unless you're Irish, I guess.
What was Brian Albert drinking?
If I was to guess, a beer.
I don't want you to guess. Do you know what he was drinking?
No, I don't.
He was drinking
He was
something?
drinking something.
Okay, alcoholic.
Yes.
You two were probably going round for round. In other words, finish a drink, get another round for the two of you, finish it, get another round.
I don't think we. No, I wouldn't say we're going round for round.
So he was nursing one beer while you had 4 Jamesons?
Well, it would have taken. Say that again.
He was nursing one beer while you had 4 Jamesons? What you said?
No, he was probably maybe he had more beers than I had Jamesons. Is more what I would say.
Okay, so maybe he had 5 or 6 beers while you had 4 Jamesons.
I'm not going to put a number on it because I don't know.
But it was more
More than what?
than you.
Maybe. He wasn't there that long.
Well, it doesn't take that long to drink a beer, does it? If you're sort of thirsty and in a hurry.
Is that a question?
Everything I say up here is a question.
Okay.
Just presume
Well,
that.
all right. So
Well, that wasn't. So,
Let's, question. Yes, Mr. Higgins, that was a question.
All right, let me put a question mark at the end of that.
okay.
Your memory that Brian Albert had more drinks than you did when you had those 3 to 4 Jameson and Gingers.
To be honest with you, I wasn't keeping track.
I bet he was.
He left Hillside and you stayed, correct?
For a short time, yes.
Oh, just a passage. They drove there and they drove from there. Brian Albert gunning down beers. 4 Jameson and ginger. And I don't think he said take it easy on the Jameson. Drove there. I think it's cops and agents in around Canton, Mass. They can't drive without being drunk.
You later changed your mind and ultimately decided to go to the waterfall. You finished whatever you're eating or drinking. You decided to go over to the waterfall, right?
Yes, because I'm always saying I'm going to show up and then I kind of do the Irish exit. So I decided it was a long day. It was an emotional day. And I decided to join them.
Did you drive your vehicle over there
Yes, I did.
after having as many as 4 whiskeys?
Yes.
Brian Albert, did he drive himself?
Well, I didn't see him. I dropped him off in Boston PVD district down there in Charlestown. And I'm assuming he drove back towards that way to meet me.
He wasn't with anybody else.
Not that I know of.
So he was drinking at the Hillside Bar and then got in his car and drove over to the waterfall as well.
I didn't see him drive over, but I assume that's what he did. Yes.
You went to John O'Keefe's house. I'm going to shift gears for a second. You went to John O'Keefe's house at some point to watch the Patriots game on January 16th, right?
Yes.
That was the time when you indicated that when you left, Karen gave you a kiss goodbye, correct?
Yes.
It's safe to say that that was not some hot, passionate, long kiss, but you think it was more than just a friendly peck, correct?
I wouldn't describe it as a peck. I describe it as more than friends. It was a kiss.
Well, you did describe it as a peck, didn't you?
When?
When you texted Karen Reed and she said it was just a peck, and then you texted back, I agree.
Figure of speech.
Or the truth, right?
Figure of speech.
After that incident, it's safe to say, we've just gone through a number of them, you exchanged flirtatious texts with Miss Reed. Is that right?
Is the incident you're referring to when she kissed me?
No, I'm saying after that. After that incident, yes, after the Patriots game,
Okay. Yep.
you exchanged flirtatious texts
We did.
with Miss Reed.
I did.
And that was over the course of,
I would say the text messages are more cringe than flirtatious because he doesn't know how to flirt. It was more like a teenager going, "Are you sure you like me?" and stuff like that.
a few weeks, couple of weeks, but just 9 days. Is that right?
So it was between the January 12th and I would say before the 28th, because the 28th she didn't respond. And the 29th, she sent that last text that John died.
Well,
Those
it's
weren't,
actually- You've looked at the text, right?
I have.
You just looked at the last couple of texts.
I did.
The last text that she sent of any substance was January 23rd, right? Almost a
Well,
week-
I think the text,
Almost a
I think the
week.
text on the 29th, John died, there's substance there.
Okay, I'm not suggesting, I'm talking about after you said, well,
Yep.
28, right? The text of substance between the two of you, talking between the two of you, not the John died text. That substance ended on the 23rd, didn't it?
She ghosted him. Now, was it good? I'm not claiming that Karen Reed is a saint. I think it was quite horrible that while being in a relationship with John O'Keefe, she had a fast fling with this guy. I think that's dirty. You don't do that. Gives him motive, doesn't it? They have this flirtatious, a kiss, and then she ghosts him. And he, who is has the emotional maturity of a 14-year-old, couldn't handle it. I mean, it's not like men have killed over a woman before, right?
I'd have to have the text in front of me to agree with you.
I think it's right here, Mr. Jackson, right in front of the exhibits right there.
Thank you. May I approach?
Yes.
Okay, are you directing me to the 23rd?
I'm directing you to the last page. Just look at everything on it and tell me if that refreshes your recollection. This is the last substantive text about you and Karen before your well.
Yes, it'd be the 23rd at 9:40.
Okay?
Ta fucking da.
So it was 9 days of texting between the two of you, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And aside from the kiss goodbye, you two never had any sort of physical contact with one another,
Do you mean intimate when you say physical?
correct?
Yes.
I'm not talking about shaking her hand, Mr. Higgins.
Well, I want to answer your question truthfully.
I would like you to, too. You didn't have any physical, intimate contact with Miss Reed, correct?
No, I did not.
There was no other hugs or kisses or certainly no sex.
No.
And when she said, I'm glad you came over tonight in one of those texts that you just read a few minutes ago, she was referring to the Patriots game with John there and a big crowd there, correct?
Yes.
Over the course of that week or so, Ms. Reed did explain her feelings about her relationship with Mr. O'Keefe, correct? In text messages.
During the pendency of our communication, she did express,
Right.
yes.
And she indicated that there's a difference between being married to someone and dating someone, et cetera. We saw those texts. Is that right?
Yes.
She also indicated that in terms of the situation in Aruba, she was upset by that, but it's not that big a deal, correct?
It was clear to me she was upset.
And she said, I don't care too much about that other girl, right?
Well, at least that's what she said in text, yes.
That's what I'm asking you. Is that what she said in text, Mr. Higgins? It's not a trick question.
That's what she said in text.
Right. She said something along the lines of, I'm just trying to be realistic. There's cracks in the relationship. It's far from perfect. Is that right?
I think that's something she texted.
All right. And you'll agree that during the course of these texts, you were constantly asking for clarity and explanation from her. Were you not?
During our communication, I did ask for clarity.
Many times. You
Yes.
saw it, correct?
Yes.
And she pretty much wouldn't answer you, correct?
She was non-committal, I would say.
Which is why you were saying in your texts, why won't you answer the question? And she would parry and not answer that one either, correct?
Well, I didn't want to be stuck in the middle of anything.
That's not my question. I'm asking you whether or not she would answer your question about clarity specifically.
She avoided questions about text.
Right. And that was frustrating because you were very interested in her romantically at that point, correct?
I was attracted to her. I don't know that I would say very interested in her.
You texted things like, why did you get my number and reach out? That's a quote from the text we just read, correct?
I did ask that, yes.
You said, now what? Is that right?
Yes.
You texted, so now what? Correct?
Yes.
You texted, I would hang out, meaning with you,
Yes.
correct? You were showing interest in her.
Yes.
You were showing romantic interest in her.
I wouldn't say it was romantic. I was trying to vet it out.
Well, you weren't seeing if she wanted to go see a ball game with you as a buddy, right?
Not really, no.
No, you were showing romantic interest in her, weren't you?
I was trying to vet out was her interest in me legitimate. It was very normal for me to have that question in my mind when I didn't initiate this, she did. And I think it was a fair question just to try to find out.
You were showing romantic interest in Karen Reed, weren't you?
I was interested, but I don't think I was at the romantic phase.
Okay. When I say romantic, well, what do you mean by romantic?
He wanted to bang, but he didn't know how to close the deal. Oh, seriously? If you are at the stage as you, just generally, folks, just generally, I'm a big boy. I've been around for a very long time. If you have contact, if you had a kiss, if you wanted to go further, just say, hey, coming over. And then you know, oh no, now is not a good day. Okay, then off you fuck. Because if a girl is interested, she will, if she can't that day, she will tell you what day she can. And if she don't, then tries to play some game, don't waste your fucking time. And that goes to both genders. Don't play games. If you want to bang, just bang. Yeah, well, sorry, G. I read this in a book. Let's continue with the stream.
What's the romantic phase?
Sending somebody flowers?
Dating?
Well, there's a difference between dating and hanging out. I mean, it's kind of hard to date somebody when you have a boyfriend.
Mr. Higgins, well, not if both people are dating other people, right? Happens all the time, doesn't it?
Well, I think I asked.
He was actually married at one time. How did he land that one? I would suggest that that woman. Oh, he's an agent. I want it. Got and went to get it, and then marriage, and then holy fuck, this is a boring guy, and off she fucked. And he was clueless then as well. That's my guess.
That question too.
Right. That's not my question. My question is, you seem to have a problem admitting that you had a romantic interest in my client. Is there a reason for that?
I was attracted to her.
Right. Physically attracted.
I thought she was an attractive woman.
Romantically attracted.
I'm not going to go there. No, I don't agree with that.
Of course you're not going to go there, because that would put you in a very awkward position, wouldn't it, sir?
Objection.
Not at all.
So the objection sustained is to the form. You can ask it differently, and that answer will be stricken now.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. May I?
Yes.
You were sexually attracted to her.
I was physically attracted to her, yes.
Okay. Sexually attracted to her was my question.
Well, I think in the text I said, you're hot.
Okay. So my question again, Mr. Higgins, you seem to not want to answer my question. My question is, were you or were you not sexually attracted to my client?
Yes.
Okay. You were saying things like, what do you want from me? And I want the real deal. Those are your words, correct?
Yes.
And the real deal with you would be to date her, to get involved with her romantically, correct?
No.
The real deal was what? What did you mean by I want the real deal?
Like a relationship.
What kind of relationship?
Yeah, and they go on and on and on. Let's skip to
Keith, correct?
Yes.
Now, you had discussed your flirtations, if I can use that word, that you had with Miss Reed with your friends, at least some of it, correct?
I don't recall that, no.
Do you recall that you openly shared the details of your interest in Miss Reed with your work supervisor at the DOJ?
Well, that was after I shared what happened, that she kissed me. Yes, I did share that with her.
And that was with...
That was the first time.
That was with a person by the name of Kate Dowd, is that right?
That's correct.
And that was before January 29th.
Yes.
And that's because your interest in Karen Reed, whether you call it romantic or sexual or whatever, your interest was something that was at least occupying your mind at that point, correct?
No.
It was occupying your mind enough to share it with your boss.
No, what I shared with my boss was the fact that she kissed me. That was it.
Did you discuss your flirtatious relationship with Karen Reed with Brian Albert at any point?
No.
Never.
No.
So you were on a 4-hour drive in a snowstorm back from New York with Mr. Albert, and your interest in Karen Reed never came up,
No.
even though he's a good friend.
Yes, just something I wouldn't talk about.
You've been drinking since about what time? What time? That's a bad way to ask it. What time did you start drinking?
When are we at, Mr.?
I'm sorry, on the 28th, when you got back from New York. When did you start drinking?
Well, it wasn't until I swapped out vehicles and I went up to the hillside.
Okay. That would have been, give me a time frame. 9-ish, 8-ish?
It was dark. It was maybe in the area of 8 o'clock.
And what time do you think you got to Waterfall?
I couldn't say. It was after the hillside.
Before Brian Albert left Hillside, did he tell you that John O'Keefe had been invited over to meet them at the Waterfall?
No.
Was there any particular reason why you changed your mind and left the Hillside to go to the Waterfall?
Well, I think, as I previously testified, that it was because I didn't always take them up on their offer, and I usually did the Irish exit, and I decided because of the weather and everything else, and it had been a long day, that I would go down there and join them.
Was that before or after you found out that John and Karen was maybe joining, or at least Karen?
Didn't have anything to do with you knowing that Karen Reed might be at the Waterfall.
It couldn't have, because I didn't know she or John O'Keefe would even be there. I didn't know who was going to be there other than Brian's wife.
Do you have any text messages with Brian about going to the Waterfall?
I don't recall. He told me about it at the hillside.
Yeah. Now, are we going into what he actually did? Let's see here. Yeah, let's.
And once he got to the Waterfall, obviously before you did.
He did, I think shortly before, yes.
Any text communications between you and Brian Albert about who was at the Waterfall or who was expected to come to the Waterfall?
No, not that I recall.
Now,
the reason why he can say that is the day before he got a safekeeping order on his phone. Do not do anything to your phone. They found out, him and Albert, that the next day, they were coming for their phones. Both guys decided to get rid of their phones. This guy drove to an army base, put the SIM card, broke it, phone, broke it in separate trash bins or containers, and set it on fire. Does that sound like they have nothing to hide? Does this sound like something the House Defendants don't want Turtleboy to talk about to a larger audience, like the Timcast audience? Does this sound like something they would be scared shitless about? I would say yes, because remember what was in that cease and desist letter to Tim Pool. Oh, they have testified so truthfully, yada, yada, yada. Oh, they're the most innocent people in the world and everything is harassment, yada, yada. Motherfuckers. We base our opinion on the evidence presented in court and evidence not presented in court. Stuff we found out during the course of this case. That you guys are some shady motherfuckers. Really, really shady. We know you lied. All of you. We know your stories evolved between January 29th, the first interviews, the grand jury, first trial. Everything evolved because they couldn't stop information from getting out. And oh, they tried. So no, you are not harassed because you were just witnesses in a trial. You're being confronted because you're shady motherfuckers with means, motive, and opportunity to commit the crime.
You've already indicated, and I don't think we need to go into a lot of detail about this, but I want to ask you just in general, the mood at the waterfall was good spirits, correct?
It was great. Band was playing.
You did not see any sort of tension between John and Karen?
I did not.
Nobody seemed overly intoxicated?
No.
You had had several drinks before you even got to the waterfall, right?
I think it was 3 to 4.
Did you drink additionally at the waterfall?
I did, yes.
Did you drink whiskey or beer or what?
Whiskey.
Okay. How many do you think you had?
I couldn't put a number on it. At least a couple.
And ultimately, you left from there in your personal vehicle and drove over to, that's the Jeep, drove
Jeep,
over to
yes.
the waterfall, correct?
So, between 8 p.m. and roughly 11:30 p.m., he had at least 6 Jameson and, what was it, Ginger? I would say double that number, and you're closer to the truth. And he drove everywhere. And he's still an ATF agent. I don't get it.
I drove over to the waterfall.
I'm
I
sorry,
was at the
left
waterfall.
the waterfall, drove over to 34th Avenue.
I did, yes.
When John walked in to the waterfall, were you already there?
Yes.
He greeted you, you indicated, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Karen walked in with him,
Yes.
but she did not greet you, did she?
I think they kind of went like that in different directions.
Right.
Yes.
Did she greet you?
No.
Right. So she walked over toward the corner of the bar, and John came over and greeted you, and then walked over and joined her, correct?
Yes.
Karen didn't stop what she was doing when she was over in the corner of the bar and come over and say hi to you.
I didn't have any interaction with her that night, no.
So it's safe to say that throughout that evening, once she was sidled up next to John O'Keefe or the friends that she was with, she never turned back around and came over and even acknowledged you, correct?
That's correct.
So she basically ignored you the entire evening.
That's not how I interpret it, no.
I didn't ask you how you interpreted it. I asked you what she did. Did she ignore you or did she pay attention to you?
Objection.
You can go ahead and answer that. Did she ignore you?
No.
So she paid attention to you. Came over and said hello, shook your hand, gave you a hug.
Well, just because somebody didn't come over doesn't mean they ignored you.
Did she do those 3 things?
Hug? What was the other
Did she
thing?
say hello, shake your hand, give you a hug?
No, she did not.
No, she didn't do any of those things, did she?
No.
It's like you didn't even exist.
I think that's dramatic. No, I don't look at it that way.
She pretended you didn't exist. And look, he's taking offense to that. Because in his mind, the maturity of a 14-year-old, now he's jealous. Because Jan had what he wanted.
Did she ignore you or not?
No, she did not ignore me.
So what did she do to not ignore you?
She was
What's
work-
her interaction with you?
Can I answer now?
Sure.
In my opinion, she was working the room, talking to people, saying hello, catching up.
Right. The one person she didn't come over to talk to and say hello to and catch up with is you.
Well, I don't know that I was the only person, but I was one of the people that she didn't say hello to, yes.
Treated you sort of like a stranger.
I don't feel that way, no.
She actually positioned herself away from you at the other end of the table on the opposite side in the corner. Isn't that right?
I don't know where she was all night, no.
Did
I don't
that
know.
upset you that she ignored you or didn't pay attention to you?
I did not feel ignored and didn't upset me at all.
But it bothered you enough to send her a text, didn't it?
No, it was a flirtatious text. It was just, that was it.
It bothered you enough to send her a text that said, with 6 M's behind it,
Okay.
and well, correct?
Well, it wasn't like that. It was, well, that's it.
Just well, like a well in the ground.
He's been ghosted for the past 9 days. He shows up drunk and she keeps ignoring him. And he goes, well, as if she couldn't care. You had your chance, Mr. Higgins. You blew it because you're a fucking moron. but you didn't acknowledge that you lost your opportunity. And you couldn't take it, could you, Mr. Higgins?
I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think you do too, sir. You meant, well, when are you gonna pay attention to me?
No, that's not correct.
Well, why are you ignoring me?
It's not correct.
Well, am I chopped liver?
Objection.
All right, that's sustained. Mr. Jackson, let's move on.
At the end of the night, the group basically discussed going back to Brian Albert's house. Is that right?
There was discussion at the table of, like, were we going to go to the pizza shop or were we going to go somewhere else? And ultimately, it was 34 Fairview.
Before you left, just so we're clear, when you texted, well, she ignored that text too, didn't she?
Can you say that again?
When you texted her, well, at Waterfall, she ignored that text too, correct?
Well, that was the only text I sent that night to her, yes.
Okay,
She didn't respond.
that wasn't my question.
What,
My
what,
question is she ignored the text, right?
well, I don't know if I don't know what her mindset was. If she purposely ignored the text or she didn't see it, I don't know. I didn't read into it.
Did she ignore the text, Mr. Higgins?
I don't know.
Did she respond to the text?
She did not respond.
Got it. So when everybody was leaving, did you leave before they did, John and Karen, or did they leave before you did?
I don't know.
You said you were the first one back to Brian Albert's house, correct?
Yes,
Safe to say you were one of the first ones to leave.
I was the first one to leave
Waterfall.
the Waterfall. Probably.
I mean, if you're if everybody's herding out and you're the first one to get there, you're probably among the first to leave, correct?
Most likely.
Okay. You never personally discussed going to 34 Fairview with, certainly not with Karen Reed, did you?
No.
And you never discussed it with John O'Keefe either, did you?
No.
You didn't say goodbye or walk over and give John a big hug or anything like that?
No.
Acknowledgement, did you?
No.
You just left.
But that's what everybody was doing, just leaving.
Okay. You too, correct?
I did leave, yes.
And all you knew that at that point, all you knew was that you were going over to 34 Fairview. You did not know who else was invited over to 34 Fairview.
My impression was that it was an open invitation, and I planned on heading over there.
But you did not know who else was coming.
I had no idea who was coming.
And you didn't say goodbye to John, correct?
I don't think I said goodbye to anybody.
And you didn't talk to him about coming over to 34 Fairview.
No.
Yet at 2:20 in the morning, you texted John O'Keefe, you coming here, correct?
At 2:20,
Sorry, 12:20.
I did.
And that had 3 question marks behind it.
Why would he, who has 0 friendship with John O'Keefe, text him, you coming or? 3 question marks. Is that can be interpreted as aggressive, doesn't it?
Behind it, correct?
Yes.
Did you text Karen about coming over to 34 Fairview?
No.
So at 12:20 a.m., after you left the Waterfall and made your way over to 34 Fairview, you were more interested in getting John to come to 34 Fairview than you were getting Karen to come to 34 Fairview.
No, that's not how I would describe that.
But you didn't text Karen, correct?
No, I didn't.
But you did text John.
Yes.
You've indicated that you took your Jeep, your personal vehicle with the plow on it, over to 34 Fairview, correct?
Yes.
And you were among the first to arrive because you were doing that thing with the sort of playing around by plowing his driveway.
It was a sweep of the driveway, yes.
And then you indicated that you parked in front of the house, correct?
I did.
I know you've been over this before, but I'm going to ask you one final time so it's completely clear. Exactly where was your Jeep in front of that house?
By the mailbox.
Okay. Can we have, with court permission, exhibit 66?
Okay.
Now, you saw me draw up all the cars where they were or where they allegedly were. The only 2 people claiming that Brian Higgins' Jeep was there at the mailbox is Jen McCabe and Brian Higgins. The 2 people who showed up just, seconds after Karen and John parked, didn't see a Jeep. At the mailbox or anywhere else. So where the fuck did he park? Because everybody says he was in that house. Brian Higgins. So where did he hide his car to surprise somebody? What? Higgins and O'Keefe were friends? Well, I trust you, but it's one of the... Damn it. They were? Are you sure? That's not my recollection. But then again, it's been a while since I covered this case. Folks in the chat, let me know if I'm wrong here. If I'm wrong, yeah. All right. Music Thomas says Jan had invited Higgins over to his house before. They only hung out once, the night of the kiss, across the street at Ken's. Okay, so they did know each other. Okay, thank you. This is what I really like about streaming with an audience. And because you can correct me when I'm wrong. I don't mind. Opposite, I want you to correct me when I'm wrong. So I don't say stupid things. Well, I do say stupid things once in a while. Anyways. All right. This makes it worse. Okay, so Higgins, O'Keefe were friends. And he was gunning for O'Keefe's girlfriend? You're a bad friend. Maybe acquaintances. Regardless, where was his Jeep? Because it's sure as fuck was not by the mailbox. So why does Jen and Higgins desperately want that to be a fact? Well, if his Jeep with a snowplow is seen, then Karen would have just kept driving. Why would Karen join a house party where this fucker is? She wouldn't. So where was his Jeep? Somewhere else. Because it wasn't at 34 Fairview. He was there, not his Jeep.
This is a graphic representation of 34 Fairview, not a photograph. Just to orient you, do you see what's depicted?
Hey, microdots.
Yes.
Do you recognize it?
Microdots, folks. If you have never heard of microdots does these renderings, which are amazing because it shows exactly where people claim the cars were. And as you can see, look at this driveway full of cars. Remember what I showed you? Was it yesterday or the day before? My amazing reconstruction in paint. She would have drove right into those cars if the event took place as the state alleged. Why was Jen trying so hard to get Karen to come over to 34 Fairview that night? Because I don't buy for a second that Jen and Brian Albert were close to Jan. They wanted their good friend Higgins to get a girlfriend. Oh boy, that was a bad decision.
I do.
You see the mailbox, which is about right there.
Yes.
Okay, where was your Jeep in relation to that mailbox?
So the back end of the Jeep, the rear, would have been about around equal with the mailbox, and I was not blocking the driveway.
Okay, so you would have been about there, correct? If the right edge of that highlight is the mailbox being right there, you'd have been about right there on the street, correct?
Well, that would have been the front of the Jeep. Where a laser pointer is, it would be the front.
Okay. So you're-
Yeah. So here is look here Jeep, and remember what Jen said. Right in front of it was Karen's SUV. Problem is, the youngsters who came directly after drove here and parked behind Karen's SUV. There was never a Jeep there.
front of the Jeep was facing the flagpole,
Towards Chapman Street, correct.
and the rear of the Jeep was basically even with the mailbox strut or
It,
stanchion.
it was definitely past the driveway, yes.
Okay. You indicated the plow was a 6 foot, what inch plow?
I think it was a 6'8", 6
6
foot,
meaning the width.
meaning the width, yes.
How deep is that plow?
How deep? Like,
2 foot, 3 feet, 6 inches?
I mean, it's probably a few inches.
Okay,
It's light duty. It's on a Jeep.
okay. And it's obviously curved and
Curved.
connected to the right.
No,
Yeah, I'm going to this here is microdots. This is the channel. Where you can see microdots has been with the testimony, with the evidence, made these renderings. Let's see if I can show here just
Albert home.
see
Back. Then Higgins. Health.
with all the things. With the this is what you guys just saw, but a little bit different. Remember, Higgins says he was parked here. The SUV, according to all the witnesses, was here. This is the pickup truck, who were literally seconds behind Karen's SUV. And they say there was never a Jeep in front of them. So if you want to look at the renderings according to the testimonies, the evidence, the everything, microdots. Go check that channel out. It's an amazing channel. All right, let's get back to this.
it wasn't canted at all. It was straight down.
Okay, so it's not like I guess I'm picturing in my mind, I don't know that I've ever seen one, that the front of the Jeep is not parallel to the plow. In other words, it would plow stuff off to the right. Is that all right?
I'm not understanding what you're trying to communicate to me.
How is the plow positioned as it relates to the front end of the Jeep? Is it perfectly parallel to the front end, or is it canted one way or another?
So when you're driving straight locally, where you're not going to worry about overheating the Jeep, I would just have the Jeep plow straight. If I was on the highway for a long distance, I'd be worried about overheating, so I would canter the plow, tilt it up so that air could get through the front grille.
So in other words, you can control it.
I can, yes.
How was it that night?
So
How was it canted that night? Was it straight or canted?
it was straight and straight on.
All right. When you walked into 34 Fairview, you indicated that there were people congregated basically in the kitchen area, correct?
There was some people in the kitchen area, yes.
How many people were at the high top table that you described?
Initially, when I walked in, I believe there was Brian Jr., and he was flanked by one, possibly two females.
And you indicated that basically you were positioned in that area with your back to the door for most of the evening.
I was like I would describe this diagonally across from him and had my back to the door that I had come in, which would be the breezeway door.
But at some
Yeah. So everybody knows he was inside the house. But the only people saying his Jeep was at that place is Jen McCabe and Brian Higgins. Nobody else saw it. None. That, in my opinion, tells me he was going to ambush somebody. Either if Karen went in, he was trying to put his charm on, but then Karen didn't come in. John came in. drunk as fuck, jealous as fuck. Now, if it happened in the basement or in the garage, I don't care. Because means, motive, opportunity.
Point, you had moved out of that kitchen area with Brian Albert, correct?
Well, I briefly went and looked at some photos.
Right. So you moved out of that area with Brian Albert alone to go to a different room.
Yes, and I think his wife, Nicole, might have popped in the room for a second, but it was brief.
Did you have anything to drink while you were at 34 Fairview?
Well, when I got there, they didn't have any whiskey. I believe they might have put a beer or something else in front of me. And, you know, I knew it was going to be a short night there because I just wasn't going to, I'm not a beer drinker.
You've indicated in a prior testimony that you've never been upstairs in Brian's house, correct?
Would you say upstairs, like, were you talking like second floor?
Correct.
Yes, no.
Okay. You testified to that in a prior hearing, is that right?
Yes,
In May of 2023.
yes,
And you said specifically, quote, "I've never been upstairs." Is that
yes,
right? All right. You understood when you gave that statement that you were under oath,
yes,
you were telling the truth,
yes,
same oath that you took here today, correct?
yes.
You indicated that the photos that you saw were on the first floor living room area, is that right?
I believe that's where they were, yes.
So the only floor downstairs from the first floor would be what?
The basement,
And the only floor upstairs from the basement would be what?
the first floor.
So if someone were to describe going upstairs to look at the photos that you've described on the first floor, where would they have to be to go upstairs to look at those photos?
Are you saying on the first floor?
Correct. If the photos are on the first floor,
Yeah,
and someone said, "We went upstairs to look at those photos," where would they have to be?
I guess upstairs.
The people would have to be upstairs?
Well, the photos would be upstairs. Is that what you're saying?
Where are the people? Where would the people have to be to go upstairs to the living room to look at the photos?
I'm not understanding the question.
If the photos are on the first floor, Mr. Higgins,
Yes,
the only floor beneath it is the basement,
okay.
and someone says, "We went upstairs to look at the photos," where would they have to be?
Well, who said they went upstairs?
All right, so Mr. Jackson, you can save this for argument. Next question, please.
If Brian Albert said you went upstairs to look at the photos, where would you have to be?
Objection.
Sustained.
Now, Brian Albert had a weight room someplace in the house, right?
Yes,
And a gym.
I guess he called it a home gym
Where was that?
in the basement.
Had you ever been down to that basement before?
Yes, one time.
When was that?
That was during the twins' graduation party. Summertime.
Summertime before,
Summertime before. Yes,
summer of 2021?
maybe.
So if Brian Albert testified
Or
that
could
you've
it-
never been in the basement, that would not be accurate.
Objection.
Sustained.
Now, you do recall giving testimony at another proceeding on June 1st, 2023, correct?
Yes,
And of course, the same thing applied. You were under oath. Is that right?
yes,
You knew that it was a crime to lie under oath
yes,
in that proceeding. During the course of that proceeding, you were asked who was in the house and who you saw come into the house, correct?
yes,
And during the course of that testimony, you admitted that you observed a tall, dark-haired male enter the Albert house that night, correct?
I believe that was in reference to ask it to somebody's brother in a pickup. I don't know if that was during.
All I'm asking you, Mr. Higgins, is did you say that? Did you say a tall, dark-haired male entered the house while you were there?
I said they might have.
Did you say they might have?
Yes, and that was in reference to somebody's
Let me ask this for
brother.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Isn't it true that you indicated that a male showed up who may have been Julie Nagel's brother, correct?
I said might have. Yes,
Right. But there was no question in your mind that a male did in fact show up, and you described him as tall and dark-haired, right?
yes,
You were asked, a male showed up where? And you answered, quote, showed up at the house that I didn't know. I think he was there very briefly. I was half paying attention to it. Question, did that male come inside the house? Answer, I believe he did. Do you remember that?
yes.
So a male did come in the house that night, correct?
No, I said I believe he did. I wasn't sure.
Well, when you testified at the prior hearing, you were asked, so you saw someone else come? Question. Answer, somebody else. Yes. End quote. That's what you testified to under oath, wasn't it?
Is that in reference to that?
What page are you on, Mr. Jackson?
Page 485, 486, I believe. Yes. If I may, approach.
Yes.
Thank you.
Look at the top part of the highlighted. Mr. Higgins, do you have that in mind?
I do.
May I approach?
Yes.
You were asked the question, quote, did that male come inside the house? You answered, I believe he did. Question, so you saw someone else come? Answer, somebody else. Yes, correct?
Yes, but I also said that I wasn't paying
Mr. Higgins,
attention.
I realize that you want to explain your answer. I've asked you a very simple question. Was that your testimony in front of another proceeding?
Yes, it was.
At another proceeding, which you were under oath?
Yes, it was.
Okay. You also said that you only remember seeing that person come in briefly, and it looked like he was having a conversation with the two girls, briefly, correct?
Yes.
You were asked how long was the person in there roughly, and you said it was quick. Less than a couple of minutes. I mean, it was quick, correct?
Yes.
And then you were asked what he looked like, and you said, I feel like they were a little bit taller. They had dark hair, correct?
Yes.
So you testified that a tall, dark-haired male came into the house, at least briefly, in your testimony, correct?
Yes.
Approximately when in the timeline of events did that unidentified male enter the residence?
I don't know the time frame. It would have been while I was there.
When you gave your statement to the Massachusetts State Police, you didn't tell them about a tall, dark-haired male coming into the residence at 34 Fairview, did you, on February 3rd?
I don't recall.
You were specifically asked by ADA Lally when you testified before the state court grand jury on April 28th, 2022, who else was present, correct?
Yes.
And you never mentioned a tall, dark-haired male coming into the house, did you?
No.
However, on June 1st, 2023, at this other proceeding, you were specifically instructed at the start of your testimony that it was a crime to give materially false statements in that proceeding, correct?
Yes.
And that's the proceeding in which you admitted that there was a tall, dark-haired male who came in the house.
I
Yes
said
or
I-
no? Yes or no? It was that proceeding.
Can you answer that, yes or no?
No, I can't, Your Honor.
Next question, Mr. Jackson.
The quotes that I just read you and that you just looked at,
Yes.
that was from the June 1, 2023 hearing, wasn't it?
I don't know.
That's what was just read, and that's another page. Just take a look at that page and see if you see a date on it, the first page.
I see it, yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
What's the date, sir?
June 1st?
2023?
Yes.
How long did you stay at the Albert residence in total? From the time you got there till the time you left?
Maybe like a half hour, less than an hour.
And what time did you leave? Say 12:30, you said?
I think I said between 12:30 and 1
Okay.
a.m.
And you indicated that you pretty much didn't say goodbye to anybody, right?
At the house,
Correct.
I just kind of left. I said, see you later. We'll turn around, left.
As a matter of fact, at that same hearing that we just looked at, your statement was, I made a beeline out of there, correct?
I don't know if that's the verbiage I used, but I left
Why the rush? Why did you leave so quick?
because it was a long day and I just wanted to go home.
Except you didn't go home, did you?
No, I went back to Canton PD.
Right. So it wasn't such a long day that you actually drove home. You went back to the Canton Police Department at 1 or 1:30 in the morning, correct?
To move vehicles, correct.
Well, let's talk about you leaving. You walked out the side breezeway door, correct?
Yes,
You walked down the driveway.
yes.
There's nothing obstructing your view at that point of the lawn to your right, correct?
I didn't look over there, but I would not think so.
Between you and the flagpole, in other words, there wasn't some mound of dirt, something obstructing your view. You could see straight across if you wanted to, correct?
If I wanted to, yes.
It's just basically a flat, grassy lawn with a light dusting of white powder snow on it, right?
I don't know how much snow was, but there was snow there.
Yeah, you indicated that it wasn't even enough to stick to the pavement at that point.
Well, that's when I got there. Yes,
Well, you only stayed less than an hour, right?
that's correct.
So I'm assuming it didn't dump 3 feet in an hour, correct?
I think we can both agree that it's not free. It wouldn't have been 3 feet now.
Right. So it would have been a light dusting of snow.
More snow than there was there.
The snow didn't pick up on that night. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but the snow storm didn't start until maybe 3-4 a.m. At 12:20 to 12:40, there was a light dusting. At 1 a.m., still a light dusting.
How far would you say it was from the edge of the driveway over to your Jeep.
From where the back of my Jeep was parked,
Correct.
maybe a foot or two, or it could have been even with the edge of the driveway.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's probably a bad question on my part. When you left the house, as you started to walk down the driveway toward your Jeep, how long of a walk is that? Across the yard to the, down the driveway to get to your Jeep?
Short,
30 feet?
maybe.
Okay. During the course of you walking out the door, heading to your Jeep, you didn't see anything out of the ordinary in the yard, correct?
No,
You certainly didn't see a body in the yard.
of course not.
Now, you get in your car, and it's facing directly toward the flagpole, correct?
It's facing directly up the street. The flagpole would be off to the 1 o'clock.
Right. So just a few degrees off to the right, the flagpole is, correct?
It's off to the right.
Just a few degrees.
I don't know how many degrees, but it's off to the right.
Well, you just said 1 o'clock. You're
Yes.
a former military guy, right?
I am.
Okay. 1 o'clock means 1 o'clock on a watch. 12 o'clock is due north or right in front of you. 1 o'clock is just a few degrees to the right, correct? That's what you meant.
At the 1 o'clock, yes.
Okay. So you didn't see a body when you got in your Jeep.
No, I did not.
Then you turned the engine on, correct?
And the wipers, yes.
And the lights.
Yes.
And the lights lit up everything in front of you, correct?
Yes.
Still didn't see a body, did you?
No, I did not.
Sitting in the driver's seat, you put the car in gear and you begin to roll forward, right?
Yes.
But there was a plow on the ground. It scraped for a foot, right?
Yes.
So you picked it back up,
Yes.
looked out the windshield, made sure the plow was situated, and continued to roll forward, correct?
I knew it was up when I continued to drive.
And as you continue to drive, you're looking ahead of you and probably to your left to make sure that there's no oncoming cars, right?
Well, I knew there was no oncoming cars. I was just driving forward.
Right. So your focus is directly in front of you.
On the road, yes.
And everything in your peripheral vision is right in front of you as well, correct?
Yes.
Nothing obstructing your view.
I mean, other than snow on the car.
Nothing obstructing your view outside toward the lawn. Wasn't another car parked there.
No, I didn't. There was no vehicles in front of me, no.
It was the roadway was relatively empty.
There was no cars.
And you didn't see a body then either, did you?
I did not.
And as you drive past that flagpole with everything lit up and everything in your peripheral vision, you still didn't see a body on that lawn, did you?
I did not.
What else can he say? Because we know his Jeep wasn't parked there. We don't have. We have a discrepancy here from when he said he left and when he actually showed up at Canton PD. He said he went there to move some cars. He never went there to move cars. He went into the Canton PD. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if.
The person in this video.
It appears to be
Why are you putting music to it, asshole? Let's see here. If that is copyrighted, I'm fucked. All right, I have to describe it instead. Sorry, folks. He went there. You saw him in the with hood up, as if you can't recognize this former ball. Did something inside the Canton PD. Nobody knows what. Because a lot of the Canton PD videos are gone. Then he went out to the parking lot and he collected from one car, unknown which one, a duffel bag. Put it into another car. So he was lying. Both trials. He was lying. He was lying about where his Jeep was. He was lying when he got there. He was lying about when he left 34 Fairview. He was lying about what he did at Canton PD. And now he's too stuck in the lies. Because if he started to tell the truth, he would probably be charged.
You're a former firefighter. Is that right?
Yes.
That puts you in a position of being a first responder.
Yes.
And you're currently a law enforcement officer.
Yes.
That puts you in the position of being a first responder, correct?
I'm also a tactical medic. Yes.
Which means that you have training to be an observer. You're a trained observer, more than the average person, correct?
Yes.
You look for things out of the ordinary. You look for things that don't belong. As an investigator, former firefighter, first responder, correct?
Yes.
And you did not see a 217-pound man bleeding out on the side of the road, in the lawn, or in the yard, just to your right by that flagpole, correct?
If I did,
I didn't
I
ask
would
you
have
if
done
you
something
did.
to help him.
I asked you if you saw one.
No, I did not.
And that's because there was no body there, correct?
I didn't see anything.
Because if there was a body there, you certainly would have seen that.
Objection.
Where exactly did you go when you left 34 Fairview?
I went back to the Canton police station.
When you were asked that on direct examination, you said you weren't sure where you went when you left 34 Fairview, either home or to Canton PD.
No, that's not what I testified to.
Did something jog your memory
That
about
is-
where you went?
That is not what I testified to. That was in relation to where did I go after I left 34 Fairview the next morning.
Why did you go to Canton Police Department that morning?
What's the question?
Why did you go to the Canton Police Department that morning?
The morning when I left 34 Fairview, the Friday into Saturday,
Correct.
to move 2 vehicles.
There's been quite an evolution of that story over the years, has there not?
I don't understand the question.
All right, let's talk about
I have to. Let's see here. Hold on. Let's see if I can. All right, let's go to here. Core TV. He is.
person in this video.
Oh, they are. Oh, they are going to show it. So why am I? Let's see here if they're going. No. See him. And then
Black beanie hat, black dark colored sweatshirt with some design on it, and something illuminating by his face.
Can we?
yeah, who was he calling in the middle of the night at the parking lot of Canton PD? We don't know because remember, he destroyed his phone and the SIM card. Does that sound like an innocent person to you?
Enhance the time, please. What time is that?
It says 1:34 and 53 seconds in the morning, a.m.
And if you could move the screen over to the individual. Mr. Woe. Does that appear to be the same person?
It could possibly be, yeah.
And does it appear as something in his hands up to his face, the right side of his face or ear?
Yes.
What do you think that is?
It's consistent with a cellular device, possibly a phone or a tablet.
Okay. If we could move on, please. Play that through. You would agree that this video.
Okay, so that is in the Yuri Buchanik testimony. Okay, that explains why the. Yeah. All right, let's get back to this piece of garbage. Yeah. Eventually, they got a hold of the video, what he actually was doing there. And he wasn't moving cars. He was calling somebody, getting a duffel bag, and then drove off.
Interview with Massachusetts State Police on February 3rd, 2022.
Yes.
Correct? And you indicated during the course of that interview, which was just a couple of days, 5 days after the events in question, that you left Brian Albert's house, went to Canton PD to, quote, fulfill some administrative obligations, end quote, correct? You later said, when you testified in front of the grand jury on April 28th, that you went to Canton PD to do, quote, administrative work, correct?
Yes.
You've never mentioned,
I said administrative things.
you said administrative work was your testimony in your transcript.
I believe it was things, but okay.
Okay. Can we agree, Mr. Higgins, that you didn't mention anything about moving cars around, correct?
Well, that would be administrative.
So when you say I went to Canton PD to do administrative work or administrative obligations, you meant moving your car, your personal vehicle?
Yes.
Okay.
What a load of bullshit. Folks, again, let me repeat myself. Why does the House Defendants want to silence Turtleboy from reaching a larger audience? Because of this crap. Because it was horrible for the House Defendants during the trials. And now apparently they thought, well, it's calming down a bit. We can't risk Turtleboy reaching a new audience. And what do? The Afro Man effect. And now everybody's talking about it again, including me. Gives me a chance to repeat what I was saying a year and a half ago, and 2 years ago to you guys. Because they can't get away with this shit. Turtleboy is reporting. Yeah, you might not like his methods, but shit, they were effective. And now we're talking about it again. And Turtleboy is getting more money for his defense. More people who listens to him. Good job, House Defendants, for making sure more people talk about it.
Although you didn't say that you were going there to move your personal vehicle, right?
No, I said I didn't move my personal vehicle. I moved work vehicles.
Or either one. You just traded off vehicles, moved them out of the way, right?
I moved the purpose for going back there was to move 2 work vehicles.
And the reality is you had gotten Canton PD earlier in the afternoon and actually moved some other vehicles, traded vehicles, didn't you?
I swapped vehicles out, that's correct.
Right. And you left the vehicles that you now claim you had to go move exactly where they were, even though you knew a blizzard was coming, correct?
That is correct, yes.
So you didn't move the cars a few hours earlier, knowing that you just have to come back and move those cars a few hours later.
I was more concerned to go eat and have a drink because it had been a long day.
So wouldn't you want to move those cars early on so you wouldn't have to go all the way back to Canton and play?
Go all piss and drunk?
Parking lot with these cars in the middle of the night?
Not really.
Mr. Higgins, you weren't actually at Canton PD to do administrative work at 1:30 in the morning, were you?
I was moving the vehicles. I'm sure it's on video.
We'll talk about the video in just a second. You entered the Canton police station through which door?
I believe it was the door to the right of the Sally Port as you come in the main entrance.
And you made note of who was on duty that night, correct?
I didn't make note. I walked by, I saw somebody sitting in the control room and then just went about my business.
So you immediately knew that your friend, Officer Good, was working dispatch, right?
So do you need to hear something or?
All right, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you. Mr. Higgins, if you went back to Canton PD at 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, you would certainly be in a position to monitor anything that was happening at Canton PD at the time that at least you were there, correct?
No.
I mean, you would be inside the building, correct?
Yes.
With access to dispatch and anything else that was happening around that floor, that area, correct?
I did not go into dispatch.
You would have access to the interior of the police station.
Yeah, where he actually went, those videos are missing. Isn't that strange?
At that time, if you went back to Canton PD at 1:30 in the morning, correct?
I'd have access.
You could see if there was any activity going on, any calls, call outs, things of that nature.
I didn't have access to that and I wasn't looking for it.
Not that you were looking for it, Mr. Higgins. My question is more simple than that. If you were there, you'd know what was going on inside the building.
No.
So if you walked in, you would just be completely oblivious to anything that was happening. For instance, if troopers started amassing to go out to a call, you wouldn't see that.
Objection.
The objection sustained. Ask it differently.
You were able to monitor, you'd be in a position to monitor what was happening at the station around 1:30 in the morning when you were over there, correct?
No.
So how long did it take you to get home from Canton PD?
A little longer from after I moved the vehicles?
Correct.
I don't know. I mean, it could have been 15 minutes. It could have been 20 minutes.
You live
He
alone?
never
I do.
moved any
You did then?
vehicles.
Yes.
What did you do when you got home?
I think I had something to eat, maybe a couple more drinks.
Then you went to bed?
Was either on the couch or in the bed watching the news.
In any of the prior testimony that you've given in this case, have you ever indicated, ever, that you slept on the couch that night?
I don't know.
Well, you reviewed your testimony before you
Well,
testified.
those would be the two options.
Okay. I didn't ask you about your options. I asked you if you reviewed your testimony before you testified today.
Yes.
Okay. When you reviewed your testimony previous to coming in here today, did you ever testify that you slept on the couch that night?
No, I slept in my bed, but I could have started somewhere else.
Did you ever testify in the previous hearing that you started somewhere else?
Not that I know.
Did you ever mention a couch in any of your description about what you did when you went home that night?
Not that I recall.
As a matter of fact, what you did mention under questioning in a different hearing was that you may have gotten something to eat, you then went to bed, put your stuff on the nightstand next to your bed, correct?
That would be the routine, yes.
You did not make or receive any calls after returning home that night.
No.
You were clear when you went to sleep in your prior testimony that you put both your work and your personal phone. You had two at the time, correct?
Yes.
A personal and a work cell phone, right?
Yes.
You put them both on your bedside table because that's what you do every night. Is that right?
Most often, yes.
As a matter of fact, you were asked whether or not you have a charging station, and you said, yeah, it's right on my bedside.
I don't know that I don't have a charging station.
Right, you said no, bedside. In other words, you keep your phone by your bedside, on your bedside table.
Usually.
You also testified that you did not use your phone that night to go on social media, correct?
That's correct.
You indicated that you don't go on, you didn't go on social media because you don't have social media. You don't use it that much.
I don't.
You said, I don't have the gram. I'm guessing that means Instagram, correct?
That is correct.
And you don't use Snapchat, and you quote, don't do those things, correct?
That's correct.
All right, so you testified that the first call you received after returning home on the 29th was a call from Chief Berkowitz just before 7 a.m., which woke you up. Is that right?
It was around 6:30-ish, I think.
Okay. Your testimony previously was at some point before 7 a.m., that call was the one that woke you up.
Yes.
And it turns out, Mr. Higgins, that was a lie, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't a lie.
When you were asked that question.
Oh, are we going there? Are we going there? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going. Folks, if you're completely new to this case, what you're about to hear will blow your fucking mind.
In a previous hearing, you didn't know that the person questioning you had your phone records, did you?
I assume they did.
And you were thereafter confronted with those phone records, correct?
I was asked about them, yes.
And those phone records established that you and Brian Albert actually exchanged not one, but two phone calls at 2:22 a.m. that morning, at a time when you claimed you were in bed asleep, correct?
I have no recollection of any phone calls.
May I approach you on?
Yes.
Take a look at those two documents and tell me if you recognize at least the top one. Do you recognize those?
Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
These are, you know what, I'm gonna, if it's okay with the court, maybe witness maintain those documents?
Sure.
Mr. Higgins, you see the document on the lower right, it has a page number or there's a numeric indicator 01770, in other words, 1770
On the lower right-hand corner?
in the red. Take a look at the one that's marked with the QQ.
I see it.
You've seen that document before, correct?
I think I've seen it maybe on a screen, not in my hand.
That was these were the records that were shown to you in a prior hearing.
Yes.
And you acknowledge that at least the one marked QQ is a record of your calls, correct?
It has my name, my telephone number, correct.
And it indicates that on January 29th, 2022, at 2:22 and 35 seconds, you received a call from Brian Albert, duration of 1 second, correct?
Yes.
In other words, Brian Albert called you at 2:22 and 35 seconds, but it looks like you missed the call, correct?
I see the 1 second.
We are going to, later this week, we are going to listen to Brian Albert's recollection or lack of recollection of that night. And it's so stupid. It's beyond stupid.
Call, yes.
There's a second call just below that on the same date at 2:22 and 52 seconds from you to Brian Albert. Do you see that one?
Yes.
And the duration of that call is 22 seconds, correct?
I see that, yes.
So 17 seconds after you missed a call, according to these records, from Brian Albert, you called him back and there was a call lasting 22 seconds. Is that right?
That's what the records say.
May I approach?
Yes.
Now, no spoilers, because there are people in this chat who has not heard this before. Or maybe they heard about it, but don't know how stupid it sounds.
So the fact is, you were speaking to Brian Albert in the middle of the night, approximately 3 hours before Mr. O'Keefe's body was found in his yard, correct?
No, that's not correct.
And that was 5 minutes before 2:27 a.m. when there was a Google search for how long to die in the cold, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
And then, of course, you lied about that under oath in that prior proceeding by saying, I don't remember this phone call.
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you, in fact, tell the truth at the prior proceeding when you said, I don't remember that phone call?
I always tell the truth.
Did you lie under oath, sir?
No, I did not.
Would you tell us if you did?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
You acknowledge that there's a 22-second phone call in your phone records, correct?
That's what's reflected by the record.
And 22 seconds is quite an amount of time. Would you agree?
It's 22 seconds.
As a matter of fact, it's about this long, with court's permission.
The court does not give permission. That's argument, Mr. Jackson.
If we were to count off 22 seconds, that's an uncomfortably long time, is it not?
22 seconds. Ring, ring. Hey, why did you call me? We need to do something. Well, hide him in the basement. Hide him in the garage. And once you see Lucky driving by, pull him out and lay him on the lawn. Boom. 22 seconds. You can say a whole lot in 22 seconds.
No,
It's long enough to have a conversation, isn't it?
I didn't have a conversation.
Is 22 seconds long enough to have a conversation?
No.
A human being can't have a conversation in 22 seconds?
Sure they could. I don't think it's anything of substance.
Okay, so that's my question. Is it 22 seconds long enough to have a conversation?
I don't agree with it. No.
Now, when you were asked about this and you were shown these records, that prior hearing, you had an explanation for what that 22-second call may have been and what the prior call may have been, correct?
Yes.
What was your explanation?
Well, I used a phrase that people commonly used as a butt dial.
How do you place your ass on the nightstand, Mr. Higgins, where you said you left your phone? Folks, here is the explanation. And they all say this of all the calls that night, is that their assholes managed to get to this point unlock it or answering not only answering but then close the phone call and relock the phone with their assholes. Not just Brian Higgins, Brian Albert, Kerry Roberts, Jen McCabe, all managed to, they have so agile assholes, they would be prawn stars. Yeah, they actually blame all of them. All the calls that happened that night. Just the 1 second, the 22 second. There are, I believe, between 1 second and almost up to a minute. And everybody says, no, it was butt dials. Folks, do you understand why the House Defendants don't want to have this discussion again? Why they don't want us to discuss what they were actually saying in court? Why they desperately tried to silence Turtleboy from reaching a whole new audience. A whole new audience talking about butt dials. Yeah, we need a Mythbusters episode to see if it's possible. So, oh, it really is this stupid, folks. Their explanations of what they did that night is this stupid.
So you think it's possible that you may have butt dialed Brian Albert for a 22-second call that you're not aware of?
I think it's possible that he could have been inadvertently called back, but I have no recollection of that, nor did I have any conversation with anybody.
But you admitted that you lived alone, correct, Mr. Higgins?
That's correct.
You have an iPhone at the time.
Yes.
Matter of fact, that number for the reflecting those records is in fact, or was in fact, an iPhone. Is that right?
Yes.
You already indicated under oath that you don't sleep with your iPhone. You keep it on your bedside table. Is that right?
Most often, yes.
There's nobody else in your room. Is that right?
That's correct.
And you had your ringer on because you were awakened the next morning by a call from Chief Berkowitz, right?
Yes, the ringer was on.
When somebody calls you and you miss the call, there's a notification that shows up on that iPhone. Is that right?
I don't know how mine's set up at the time. I don't know.
If you open up your phone app and you go to recents, it shows all the missed calls, correct?
I think you can get to them, yes.
And you know that the iPhone does not automatically call people back. That is not a thing, right? You miss a call from someone, it's not just going to automatically re-ring them.
Yes, I think we both know that, yes.
So to call somebody back, you have to go on your iPhone, open it up from a locked position, navigate to a phone application, then navigate to a contact, and then make a call, correct?
Objection.
Sustained. You can break it down.
Sure. In order to call somebody back, if you've missed a call, you first have to unlock your iPhone.
You would have to, yes.
You can do that either through Face ID or through a 4 or 6-digit passcode, right?
Yes.
Now, Brian Higgins is not a good-looking man, but I doubt Face ID will mistake his face and his asshole. Now, I'm not sure. He might have his face tattooed, going ooh on his butt cheeks. I don't know. Let's see. Oh.
Don't tell me the code, but did you have a 4 or a 6-digit passcode locking your iPhone at the time?
I don't know if it was a digit code or a Face ID.
Well, if you have a Face ID, you have to have a digit code as well, right?
I guess so.
Okay. Did you open your phone with your Face ID or a multi-digit code?
I have no recollection of answering the phone or calling anybody back.
You also have to navigate, once the phone is unlocked, you have to navigate to the phone app, correct?
I don't know necessarily if you unlocked it with your face, if it would be right there. I've never thought about it.
Once you unlock that phone app, you have to manipulate the phone on the screen with your finger in order to make a call, correct?
You would have to hit at least one button, I guess.
At least one, right?
Yes.
So that's 3 or 4 interactions with the phone that have to be physically undertaken to just make one call, right?
But I didn't make any calls.
So how'd you butt dial it?
I didn't make any calls. I have no recollection of any calls, nor did I speak with anybody.
After you were shown these phone records at that prior hearing, in that hearing at least, you finally admitted that you did in fact call Brian Albert back, but this time you claimed the two of you just sort of sat in silence. Isn't that right?
Objection.
So I'm going to sustain it in that form. You can ask it appropriately, Mr. Jackson.
Did you ever previously testify that you did in fact make the call, but you did not have a conversation during the course of the call?
What I think I testified was something must have happened, but I didn't have any phone call.
Do you remember being asked, quote, did you call him back, end quote, and you answered yes? And then there was a question.
There was a series of questions there. That's only a fragment of what I said.
I'm not done yet, Mr. Higgins. Can you answer my question?
Yes.
To the question, did you call him back? Your answer was yes, correct?
I think it was kind of, I must have.
Then you were asked, well, the answer was yes. And then there was a colloquy back and forth where you spoke over each other's words, right?
There was dialogue back and forth about this whole thing, yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
You see the pink highlighted question and the pink highlighted answer.
Yes.
What's the question? Please read it for me.
Did you call him back?
What's the answer?
Yes.
Thank you. May I approach?
Yes.
You then said a little bit further in that same conversation, I did not have a conversation, correct?
I did not have a conversation with anybody.
And the question following that was, you just listened to the phone, what someone was telling you? Answer, it's possible that the phone picked up on the other end and nobody said anything. And then I terminated the call, end quote. That's what you said at the other hearing under oath, correct? Yes or no?
Can I see it?
Sure.
Thank you.
The bottom portion in pink. Would you read that answer to yourself, please? Does that refresh your recollection about how you answered that question?
Yes.
And your answer was, it's possible that the phone picked up on the other end and nobody said anything. And then I terminated the call. That's the only thing.
Meaning it's possible it could have happened.
It's possible it could have happened that you had a 22-second call with Brian Albert,
I
correct?
did not have a 22-second call with Brian Albert. There was no conversation.
You've had some time to think about this 2:22 a.m. call, correct? Since that last testimony.
Some time.
I mean, does he actually believe that we are buying this? No. But he has to say it for himself. Because otherwise he is admitting to perjury. And that is a weapon that can be used. Now, does this make him look like a fucking moron? Yeah. But it is what saves him from a perjury charge. Well, that and sucking the dick of D.A. Morrissey. He lies because he has to, in the hopes that somebody in the jury buys this. And again, for you who are completely new to this, do you now understand why he and the other House defendants desperately wants us silent? Will it work? Fuck no.
Time to think about it?
Yeah.
I haven't really thought about it, no.
So for over a year, you haven't even considered the fact that you were caught with a phone record lying about not having a conversation with Brian Albert at 2:22 in the morning.
Objection.
Mr. Higgins, what was so important that you and Brian Albert needed to discuss something at 2:22 in the morning?
There was no discussion. I never talked to Brian Albert.
And why the 22-second phone call, sir?
Objection.
Sustained.
I want to talk about what you did after you woke up on January 29th, 2022. That was obviously a memorable day in your mind, correct?
It was a sad day.
All right, let's see if we let's jump up to how he explains himself, because normally if you have nothing to hide, you hand over your phone, don't you? Well, no, don't always subpoena everything. But he's a law enforcement. He's a federal agent. But instead of letting his friends check his phone, what does he do?
I am, Your Honor. Thank you.
So let's bring the jurors in, please.
Be seated for the session.
All right. We have a very few minutes left, Mr. Jackson.
Understood. Mr. Higgins, you indicated that the phone was hooked up to some sort of machine at the FBI kiosk, correct?
Yes.
You're aware, sir, that under 5 CFR 2635.702, you may not use your public office for your own personal or private gain or for the gain of persons or organizations with which you are associated personally under pain of a federal offense, correct?
Objection.
No, Your Honor.
Are you aware that under 5 CFR 2634.704, it's a felony to quote?
Objection, Your Honor, as to reading.
What Jackson is trying to get here is, instead of actually showing his phone, he used federal equipment and resources to extract specific text messages and specific things to hand over so he didn't have to hand over his phone. That's a federal offense. That is how desperate he was in hiding everything he did the night of January 29th, 2022. He lied when he got to 34 Fairview. He lied about where he parked at 34 Fairview. He lied about when he left 34 Fairview. He lied about what he did at Canton PD. He lied about talking to Brian Albert. And then he tried to cover it up using federal equipment and federal resources. How the fuck is he still an agent? He tries to say he never had this conversation. Now the wording here is, I did not have a conversation with Brian Albert. No, but he might just have listened. The wording here, I mean, he's a federal agent. He knows what words to use and not to use. He knows all this. Problem is, it's so obvious he is lying about everything he did the night John O'Keefe was killed. Means he's a big guy, federal agent, trained. Motive, scorned. John O'Keefe had what he wanted. Can read. Opportunity. John O'Keefe in the basement, in the garage. Accident, maybe. A shove, a punch, a brawl. But in my opinion, the evidence, physics says John O'Keefe was not hit by the SUV. The SUV did not hit John O'Keefe. Something happened in that house. And in my opinion, based on what we have found out, the actual evidence, despite so much of it being destroyed, my personal opinion is out of everybody in that house, I would vote for this guy. Beyond reasonable doubt? No, it's impossible because they destroyed so much evidence. Could a jury, despite this, find anybody of them guilty? Yeah. My level of beyond reasonable doubt is much higher than most other people because I work with law. And how would they charge these people, the local district attorney's office, when they already tried to convict Karen Reed twice? That can only happen if there is a change in administration, and there is an election in Canton for new district attorney. If you live in that region, if you are eligible to vote, vote the current administration out. Now, what are we going to? I've had it with this. I mean, I showed you guys enough. If you want to do deep dives, there are plenty of information out there. Tomorrow is Tuesday, and I want to hear Carrie Roberts. We listened to Jen McCabe yesterday. I want you guys to hear Carrie Roberts being cross-examined about what actually was said and done in the car between Jen McCabe, Carrie Roberts, and Karen Reed. I'm going to send you over to Megan Fox, the writer. They are doing the Hernandez case, the Hernandez trial, where a hospital tried to kidnap, and they did kidnap, the Hernandez family children based on bogus abuse charges. So I'm going to send you guys over there, but not before the free Turtleboy song. I'll see you over there. See ya. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. Thank you to JB Queen City, who bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. Thank you. That is very, very nice of you. That is very, very, very nice of you. And thank you to also for becoming a member. And you will now have access to all my members-only content. You will have early access to videos and short-form videos. And you will have access to my Discord. The link is on my YouTube page. All right, now I'm done. I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay? Bye-bye.
Dr. Turtleboy walks the line, truth in his hands. Fingers pointing at shadows, he's breaking their plans. Corrupt suits in the courthouse playing their game. But the lies they sling won't tarnish his name. They try to bury him, but he won't go down. Fighting for justice in every crooked town. Dr. Turtleboy standing tall in the fight. Truth's his weapon shining through the night. Bogus charges flying, but they can't stick. He's cutting through the darkness, sharp and quick. The gavel pounds, but his voice won't break. No matter how much they take and fake, they try to bury him, but he won't go down. Fighting for justice in every crooked town. Dr. Turtleboy standing tall in the fight. Truth's his weapon shining through the night.